You've been warned, Chapter 34. Thank you for seeing me on such short notice, Dr. Corey. I watch as my ex-therapist slowly, and I mean slowly, fills his pipe with tobacco from a plastic bag. I swear, glaciers move faster. But it's okay, I'm going to get some help. To be honest, Kristen, he says, his eyes fixed on his pipe, I'm not particularly happy about this appointment. However, given the way you sounded on the phone, the sheer desperation in your voice, I felt a professional obligation to see you. So, here we are. What can I do for you? Gee, Doc, that really makes me feel welcome. Still, it's okay. I'm lucky he was able to make time for me. A few Manhattan psychiatrists keep weekend hours, and Dr. Michael Roy Corey is one of them. At least during the spring, summer, and fall. That's when he works Saturdays so he can take Mondays off to play golf at some public course near his house in Briarcliff Manor. No crowds on the course and my pick of tea times, he once explained to me. That was about 1.5 years ago when he first became my therapist. 6 months later, I stopped seeing him. I thought I'd worked out my issues. Not that I could see these new ones coming. I leaned back into his familiar gray leather couch and described some of the events of the past few days, culminating with spotting my dead father this morning. Dr. Corey listens while puffing away, not saying a word. When I finished, I stared at him with expectant, hopeful eyes. Let the healing begin. Are you absolutely sure that's your father in the photographs? He asks, tugging at a fold in a salt and pepper sweater vest that almost perfectly matches his hair. As sure as I can be, I reply. What's that supposed to mean, Kristen? There's a slight edge in his voice, impatience perhaps, skepticism. It means I'm almost positive it was him. Almost positive, as in it could have been someone who looked a lot like him. I considered that, but he spoke to me. And then, why did he run? Any number of reasons, he answers. Maybe the man you saw didn't want to be photographed. I don't know. Maybe he's wanted by the police. Maybe he's impaired. I shake my head. No. He even had on the same coat Dad used to wear. I'm sure it was him. I told you. He talked to me. He knew my name. So what you're saying is that your father, who's been dead for 12 years, simply shows up one day on a Manhattan sidewalk and starts up a conversation? Yes, I know, it sounds nuts. Gosh, do I know. That's why I'm here. Oh, I see. That's why you're here, he says, that slight edge in his voice getting sharper, louder. You want me to help you. What's going on here? This isn't what I need now. Yes, of course I want you to help me. I'm feeling pretty desperate, actually. My voice starts to crack on that last part, and I command myself to hold it together, if only for the sake of my dignity. Dr. Corey removes his pipe and glares at me. Listen to me, Kristen, for the last time. You need to get this through your head. Your father committed suicide, and nothing you do or say is going to bring him back. I know that. Do you? He asks, folding his arms. Perhaps if you had continued with your therapy, this wouldn't be happening. But it's not just my father. What about the recurring dream? We all have recurring dreams. This one came true. That's what you tell me. Of course, that doesn't make it so, does it? Listen to yourself. Are you listening to yourself, Kristen? I stare at Dr. Corey in, well, disbelief. This isn't the same guy who cheerily used to offer up those self-help mantras. He's Dr. Downer now, or maybe it's only me he's down on. Is he pissed that I stopped seeing him? Don't you understand what I'm saying, Dr. Corey? All these strange and bizarre things are happening to me. They're really happening. I'm starting to think that I'm going insane. Maybe you are. Who am I to say? He replies, matter-of-factly. All I know is that I'm not about to invest my valuable time again in someone who treats therapy like a fad. I knew it. I told you I thought I was better, I explain. He sniffs. Yeah, you're obviously a lot better. I'm in shock. He's so mocking, so disdainful. How can he act this way toward me? I was his patient. I don't have to sit here for this, I say. You're right, you don't. Feel free to leave at any time, just like you did before. My eyes start to well up. I can't help it. The shakes are back and I'm trying to control them. I don't want his pity. Oh, spare me the waterworks, will you? He groans, and don't try that insipid wink of yours either. What's happened to you, Dr. Corey? Nothing at all. It's clearly something because you're being an incredible jerk. Better than an ungrateful bitch, I imagine. That does it. I spring from the couch and race out of there, but not without a parting shot from the door. Fuck you, I scream. Go to hell, he screams back. And then, just as I'm shutting the door to his office, I still want to know what happened to you at the Falcon Hotel. Kristen? Chapter 35. It keeps getting worse. The dream is even more vivid this morning. Actually, it's excruciating. I wake up and smell that same burning smell. It's awful. I can't stand it. The hives are back too. They're worse than ever. All over my hands, my arms, my face. I strip off my t-shirt and there are red blotches on my chest and stomach, my legs, everywhere. I want to scratch my skin off. And the music, that damn music, it's back inside my head. The only saving grace, it's Sunday. I'm supposed to spend the day with Michael. The phone rings at a few minutes after 8. The caller ID tells me it's him. I bet he uses the line about the phone sex wake-up call. Hello? Hi, says Michael. It's only one little word, one meager syllable, and yet I realize right away from how he says it, something's wrong, something else. I'm not going to like this, am I? It's fucking Penley, he says. When I told her about not going to her parents, she went ballistic. She's still in orbit. Sean is calling her Penley Neutron. You know, like, yeah, I know, the cartoon. And his favorite socks, remember? I feel like a fool, standing in little else besides my socks, scratching red patches all over my body. You explained it was a work emergency, right, Michael? Yes, but she didn't want to hear it, especially since that was the reason I didn't make the trip to Connecticut last time. She really cares that much if you go? Christ, I don't know. She kept saying how much I'd be disappointing her parents. That's it, isn't it? This is about her father. You don't have to say it like that. Why do you kowtow to him so much? It's not so simple, Kristen. No, it isn't. There's a certain undercurrent to Michael and Penley's marriage, all but unspoken. Michael makes a lot of money, in the millions, but it's chicken feed compared with the fortune that Penley's father, Conrad Bishop, sits on. The man was CEO of Trans-American Steel for 25 years. He's worth north of $200 million. More to the point, thanks to his country club buddies, he's thrown a lot of business Michael's way. I mean a lot of business. If anyone, Penley's father would understand you're having to work, I say. Maybe the last time I canceled, Michael replies, twice in a row though, and it looks like I'm shunning him. It's disrespectful. So what are you telling me? He takes a deep breath and exhales that I'm going to Connecticut today. The words sting like a million bees, but I really need to see you, I plead. I know. I'll make it up to you, I promise. The anger, the disappointment, the hurt are too much for me, and I slam down the phone. It's the first time I've ever hung up on Michael, and I feel absolutely terrible, like I could die. And then I notice something. The hives, the burning odor, and the music are gone. What's up with that? Chapter 36. The elevator ride down to the lobby feels as though it takes an eternity. I'm doing everything I can to keep my emotions in check. I plead with myself, think calm thoughts. Think good thoughts if that's possible. Dispensing with visions of babbling brooks and sleeping babies, I go straight to what always works. One after the other, I conjure up my favorite photographs. The nudes of Edward Weston, Avedon's portrait of Truman Capote flashing his belly button, and, of course, Annie Leibovitz's incredible shot of Yoko Ono and a naked John Lennon cuddling. It's always about people with me, flesh and bone. I can appreciate Galen Rowell and Ansel Adams, but Mountains and other landscapes never pack the same punch for me as a living, breathing person. The mental slideshow works and I begin to settle down. That is, until I step off the elevator and spot my neighbor, Mrs. Rosencrantz. Standing by her mailbox in an orange and blue circa 1973 moo-moo, she looks up from a catalog and shoots this incredibly evil sneer my way. What is her problem? Clearly, it's me. I try to ignore her as I head for the door, but I can feel her eyes boring into me from behind those cheap, large-rimmed glasses she wears. Her stare is relentless. She won't give it a rest. And as much as I want to keep walking out to the street, I can't help making a little detour, right up into her face. Whipping out my camera, I aim the lens an inch away from her pointy nose. "Take a picture, you old bag. It lasts longer," I yell. Click. I spin around, not waiting for her angry reaction. Everyone else in the lobby is now staring at me, but I say nothing more. I aim for the exit and look straight ahead. What's come over you, Kristen? This is so unlike me. I simply don't do things like this, yelling at people, getting in their faces. It's scary, and yet scarier still is that I enjoyed it. With everything happening lately, I'm acting more and more on impulse, thinking, saying, and doing things I normally don't. Those little red flags, the ones that are supposed to pop up in my brain, have mysteriously disappeared. Hey, watch where you're going, lady. Takes me a second to realize that the grunge-looking guy playing guitar for tips on the corner is talking to me. I nearly plowed right into him. Sorry, I mutter. I'm already a block from my building, head down and oblivious to everything and everyone. The guy's right. I need to watch where I'm going. Of course, that raises a good question. Where am I going? I stand still for a moment, thinking of what might have been. My day with Michael, the picnic he mentioned. We'd talk, hold each other, drink some wine, and I'd feel so much better. Instead, I feel as if my day is ruined before it even started. The dream, the burning smell, the rash. Then, out of nowhere, I have an idea. Something a little, crazy. Very unlike me. At least the way I was until a few days ago. Hey, lady, you mind moving along? You're hurting business. I turned to the stringy-haired guy plucking away on his guitar, every other chord off-key. His ragged guitar case lies open at his feet, and I glance at the torn black velvet lining sprinkled with spare change. And I do mean spare. A quarter or two is the mother lode for this troubadour. I'm serious, lady, he barks. Beat it. Get out of here. Before I know it, I'm right in his face, too. Listen, you sorry-ass Kurt Cobain wannabe. Did you ever think that maybe it's your playing that's hurting business and not me? He's speechless, songless, too, and I'm already halfway down the block. I've got somewhere to go, after all. Chapter 37. When I left Boston and traded the Red Sox for the Yankees, I brought 3 things with me to Manhattan: a suitcase, a boyfriend, and Bob. There are undoubtedly far more inspired nicknames for a pickup truck than Bob, but I've always liked the simplicity of it. Besides, we're talking about a 1980 Ford F-100 with more than 180,000 miles on it. Even the rust has rust. A fancy name just wouldn't feel right. I hurry over to First Avenue, where I park Bob at an outdoor lot. The indoor garages can cost more than some apartments here, like mine, for instance. Still, I don't get off cheap, $350 a month, to be exact. That makes broken down Bob, with his missing hubcaps and leaky engine, my greatest luxury in this city. Crazy, huh? But today he's worth every single penny. Today Bob screams freedom, maybe even salvation. The crosstown traffic is its usual bear, and I'm worrying that I might be late. When a Macy's delivery truck ahead of me doesn't move the nanosecond a light turns green, I obnoxiously bang on my horn. Doesn't take much to bring out my inner cab driver. Approaching the building, I know I can't park too close. Bob doesn't exactly blend in. After circling the block a couple of times, I luck out with a spot that's a safe distance from the entrance. I reach for my cell and dial the apartment, hitting *67 first to block the caller ID. Michael answers. Good, they haven't left yet. For the second time this morning, I hang up on him. Then I adjust my sunglasses, sink down in Bob's front seat and get busy, waiting. Soon I see Michael emerge from the building. I immediately want to rush out and go to him, kick his shins, and call him a nasty name. Then I'll kiss him so hard he can barely breathe. We'll escape to the nearest alley and have amazing, passionate make-up sex. No, wait, better yet, we'll fuck, like rabbits, like minks, or like whatever other furry creatures top the most horny list. Have a nice day with your in-laws, I'll say when we're done. Instead, I stay right here, with Bob, watching. Michael disappears around the corner. A few minutes later, he returns with the family car, the shiny black Mercedes, the G-Class. Almost on cue, Penley, Dakota, and Sean come bounding out to the sidewalk while Lewis, sweating in his doorman uniform, brings up the rear with the kids' knapsacks and an overstuffed beach bag. Michael steps out and straps Sean into his booster seat while Dakota climbs in on her own. Penley, meanwhile, opens a compact and applies some lipstick, blindly gesturing to Lewis to load everything in the back of the wagon. It should be me getting in that car, not Penley. That's all I can think as I stare at them. I should be the fourth in that particular foursome. They may look like the picture-perfect family, all smiles as they pull away from the curb, heading for the country. But I know better. Pictures lie. Chapter 38. Michael drives like a speed demon. Hardly a surprise. Dawns on me that I've never seen him behind the wheel of a car before. I drove him somewhere once in Bob. Other than that, we're always either in his limo or taking cabs. He's definitely a little reckless today, especially with the kids in a car. A couple of times I almost lose them. First by the George Washington Bridge, and then later on I-95 through Stanford, where one of the lanes is closed for construction. I tailgate other cars, trying to stay hidden in Michael's rearview mirror. For my first time following someone, I think I'm doing a pretty good job. Next exit, Westport. It's only an hour's drive from the city, but it might as well be a million miles away. So many trees, so much space, it's a whole other world, a very rich one at that. And the closer we get to the water, the richer it gets. The homes looking out on Long Island Sound all seem to share this majestic, otherworldly quality. Beyond their manicured front lawns and perfectly aligned shutters, there's a certain grandness to them that goes beyond size. It's not mere money, it's wealth. Michael turns into a driveway. Fittingly, it belongs to the most impressive home of them all, the cedar shake Nantucket colonial that looks like a page out of Architectural Digest. Actually, make that 2 pages. The huge house rolls across the property like a wave, seemingly endless. So, this is where Penley grew up. I park by the far end of the house behind a low hedge. I'm mostly shielded while still having a decent view of the grounds, including the large infinity pool and the tennis court. What I expect to see, I don't know. What I'm even doing here is a much better question. We'll find out, won't we? I watch as Michael and the rest of the Turnbull family spill out of their Mercedes wagon. An older couple, Penley's mother and father for sure, are quick to greet them with hugs and kisses, the majority going to Dakota and Sean. Penley's father kind of reminds me of a retired Gordon Gekko. Sitting inside Bob and taking it all in, I imagine the conversation. Does Michael begin his ass-kissing right away with the old man, or does he wait a bit? They all disappear inside, though not for long. Dakota and Sean come racing out the French doors on the side of the house, heading straight for the pool. A woman wearing a uniform that screams maid isn't far behind. It seems that she's on lifeguard duty. She's sort of a day-in-the-country me. Meanwhile, Michael, Penley, and her parents settle into the whiter-than-white wicker furniture on the porch. Yet another maid appears with the silver tray. The Norman Rockwell image is slightly blown by the martini pitcher taking the place of lemonade. Fiendish ideas dance in my head. What if I were to make a grand entrance? The emerging bitch in me imagines what a scene that would be. "What are you doing here?" Penley would ask as I walk up to the porch. "Why don't you ask Michael?" I'd answer calmly. "Go on, wiggle your way out of this one, stud." But I remain with Bob and instead reach for my camera. I snapped shots of the kids splashing around in the pool. It was only last summer that Sean still needed his floaties. Dakota, on the other hand, is very graceful in the water, a baby swan. Out of nowhere, Penley marches into frame. She barks at the kids, probably something about eating lunch, because when she turns to leave, Dakota and Sean reluctantly climb out of the pool and towel off. They are adorable, and Penley is just awful. As the kids amble back toward the house with the maid in tow, my attention wanders. I'm gazing around, admiring the neighborhood. Everything is so clean, the air blowing in from the water so crisp. A few cars drive by, all but one a convertible, and why not? All this fresh country air to suck in. I watch a woman in Nike everything jog by, then I spot a man in the distance walking toward me. He's wearing a light windbreaker and a gray baseball hat, his pace nice and slow. No hurry, like everything else around here. I'm about to look away when my eyes stop. There's something strange about him. Familiar. My gosh, it's that detective from the Falcon. Frank Delmonico's here in Connecticut. That just isn't possible, but there he is. Chapter 39. I quickly ducked below the steering wheel. The detective said he'd find me again. He warned me. But out here? How did he know? Did he tell me as I followed Michael out of New York? I guess that's possible, but I sure can't have him asking more questions, not right in front of Penley's parents' house. I hear his footsteps now, louder and louder. They sound heavy, deliberate. He's a man on a mission, isn't he? But I don't know anything about those 4 murders. Why would he think otherwise? Slowly, I peek over the sun-bleached vinyl of the dash. The ball cap is pulled down over his eyes. Maybe it's not Delmonico. Whoever it is, I should get out of here right now. I reach for the keys, snapping my wrist hard to the right. The ignition sounds with a lazy sputter, the engine cranking and cranking. No, it won't turn over. Come on, old buddy, don't fail me now. This is important. If Penley sees me... I floor the gas pedal, my foot thumping down hard. Don't flood it, Chris. Bob, help me out here. Bob, old buddy. I spot the little chrome knob by the window on the passenger side. The lock, it's up. The door's unlocked. His footsteps are close. I lunge, my fingertips only inches away from the knob. But it's too late. I hear him gripping the handle outside. The raw squeak of ancient metal hinges drowns out my scream. He's opening the door. Chapter 40. What the hell are you doing here? Are you crazy? I snap my head up, looking directly into his eyes. Not Frank Delmonico's, Michael's. I've never been so relieved to see somebody in my whole life. If only the same were true for him. He's obviously pissed. He's livid, actually. I've never seen Michael like this. He looks as though he might have a stroke at 42. I don't say anything. I can't. I'm still trying to catch my breath, figure out some insane excuse for why I'm here. He stands in the open door, shaking his head. Christ, did you follow us out here? But for me, there's a much more pressing question. Is he gone? I ask when I'm able to speak. Is who gone? What the hell are you talking about? There is no one here but you. I sit up, peering around like a periscope. There is no one else, not another soul out on the street. No Frank Delmonico. I fall silent, feeling so stupid and crazy. I don't know where to start with Michael. The dream, the scene at the hotel, Delmonico, the man with the ponytail. How can it make sense to Michael when none of it makes sense to me? Michael's face is still beet red. Why are you here? He asks again. Answer me, Kristen. I stare blankly at him as he folds his arms. Why am I here? It's the question I've been asking myself all along. I don't know, I say. I mean, it's complicated, Michael. What kind of an answer is that? I open my mouth, but nothing comes out this time. Never mind, he says, nervously glancing over his shoulder at the corner of the porch where Penley and her parents are sipping martinis. The important thing now is that you get out of here. Fast. This was a big mistake, Chris. Huge. I tend to agree. One more thing before I go. How'd you know I was here? I ask. Even through bushes, Bob's pretty hard to miss. We're damn lucky I'm the only one who saw you. And right then we hear, Miss Kristen! My eyes go wide, almost as wide as Michael's. Dakota's sweet voice is a dagger through both our hearts. I force a smile, and for the first time ever with this little girl, it isn't genuine. Hi, honey, I say. Michael turns around. Dakota's standing by the hedge, wrapped in a red and white striped towel. Her blonde ringlet curls wet from the pool. What are you doing here, Miss Kristen? She asks. It's officially the $64,000 question, and I still don't have an acceptable answer. Not for her. Father, not for her. Michael looks back at me, and I know we're thinking the exact same thing. Just how mature for her age is she? Does she suspect something? Does she even know what it is to suspect? Honey, come here, says Michael. Dakota shuffles over to him, and he gently puts his arm around her. Can you keep a secret? He whispers. 7. Chapter 41. I'm in no condition to drive back to Manhattan or anywhere else. My eyes should be focused on the road, but all I can see is Dakota's innocent face as she listens to her father. Can she really keep a secret? I can only hope. Either way, I've got to give Michael some credit. Telling Dakota I was there planning a surprise party for Penley at Nana and Papa's country club was a masterstroke of quick thinking. His voice was totally calm, not a hint of panic. It's really, really important that you don't say anything to Mommy so we don't ruin the surprise. Okay, sweetheart? Wow. Never has so much faith been put in the nodding head of a little girl. And it's making me incredibly uneasy, mostly because I hate lying to Dakota and getting her into the middle of this mess. She's just a little kid. With Connecticut at my back, I approach the city and somehow navigate the ever-narrow FDR Drive on the east side without causing a 50-car pileup. Once I return Bob to the lot on First Avenue, it's almost as if I can't remember being behind the wheel. Now what? It may be a beautiful day, but I don't feel like being outside anymore, nor do I want to go back to my apartment. So I hop a cab downtown to the Angelica Film Center where there's a director's cut playing of Flirting with Disaster. How appropriate. All I want is light and funny, and thanks to Ben Stiller, I get it. In fact, as advertised in the lobby poster, I get an additional 6 never-before-seen minutes of it. I'm curious, though, has the director's cut ever been shorter than the original? After the movie, I try to do some clothes shopping in Soho, where most of my favorite stores are. But as I flip through the racks at Jean Mac, Kirna Zabed in French Corner, where I once saw Gwen Stefani trying on a pair of jeans, I'm just not in the mood. I keep regretting my very stupid trip out to Westport. Even if Dakota hadn't spotted us, I really goofed. Michael has every right to be angry. Well, maybe not that angry. What was I thinking? For about the 10th time, I reach for my cell phone to call him. I want to apologize again. And for about the 10th time, I put the phone away without dialing. Don't push it, I warned myself. I know how he is. If I let him be for a day or two, he'll be fine. We'll be fine. Chapter 42. With the afternoon sun waning, I stop on the corner of Prince Street and Green, waiting for the walk sign. I gaze around, a little paranoid. Not too bad, though. It's all relative. If there's a better place to people watch than the heart of Soho, I'd sure like to know about it. Maybe Paris? Maybe not. Society types, punkers, artists, a few cross-dressers. You name it, they're all out here sharing the sidewalk, including the nutcase on the corner directly across the street from me. He's an old man wearing sunglasses and a long gray beard practically down to his belt. He's pacing back and forth, carrying a sign like in the classic cartoons, only instead of "The end is near," he reads, "The end is just the beginning." His take on the resurrection, I guess. Yeah, I get it. I've been warned. As I cross the street and pass him, I can't help shaking my head. How does a person become so disconnected from the rest of the world? Be afraid, Kristen. Huh? I stopped dead in my tracks, turning back toward the man. How do you know my name? I just know it. I take a few steps closer. I'm about a foot from his face. He's definitely there. He's real. I said, how do you know my name? It's not too late, Kristen, he says. His voice is raspy, raw, a little scary on its own. He tries to turn away and I grab his shoulder. Wait, what are you talking about? Silence from him now. What, have I offended Mr. ZZ Top? Tell me, I insist. He smiles, flashing a mouth of the most rotted brown teeth I've ever seen, but I don't back away. Do I know you? I ask. Reaching up, he removes his sunglasses and I gasp. Now I back up a step. One of his eyes is missing. There's nothing there but a dark hole that seems to disappear into his head. Is that possible? I almost expect worms or slimy white maggots to crawl out. Not yet, he answers, but soon you will, when you figure out your life. He puts his shades back on, nods, and then turns away. Chapter 43. I'm trembling as the bearded, one-eyed joker walks off down the street. It's officially a toss-up now. Where is it more surreal, inside my apartment or out here? Hailing a cab, I decide being in my apartment might not be so bad anymore. Perhaps a nice quiet evening at home will help calm the nerves. Then maybe I can figure this out, though I seriously doubt it. In 15 minutes I'm there. I begin with a super hot bath, the kind you need to ease your body into an inch at a time. Even add some herbal salts that Connie gave me for my birthday last year. Soothing citrus, says the label. After lingering in the tub until I'm wrinkled prune, I towel off, climb into my comfy terry cloth robe, and force myself to dial up some Chinese. Sesame chicken and vegetable fried rice, my standard order. No MSG, please. I'm trying my very best to have a normal night at home, which is ridiculous. I know, but it's the only idea I have at the moment. On a full stomach after the day I've had, I should be dead tired. Instead, I'm wide awake, restless, wired. I try not to think of the one-eyed man on the corner. How did he know my name? But it's not his face I'm seeing in my mind, it's another's, Dakota's. Miss Kristen? Her sweet voice echoing in my ears, I remember that I've got an entire roll of her and Sean in my camera, the two of them swimming and playing by the pool. At last, something that might put me at ease. My darkroom. I literally roll up the sleeves of my robe and get busy. Almost immediately, I can feel my mind and body relaxing. I even crack a smile as I think of a great name for an exhibit. Stakeout. It would be strictly pictures I've taken while parked somewhere, hiding. No, wait, I've got an even better name. Bob and me. This is more like it. Moving the negatives to the holding bath, I catch a glimpse of the first few shots from the roll. Oh, how cute. I actually say the words out loud. My two favorite kids in the world splashing around and having so much fun. Even in the negative, I can see their beautiful smiles. It's a little weird, though. I always make a point of showing Dakota and Sean every picture I take of them, but these they'll never see. Eventually, I get to the shot I snapped with Penley in it. So typical, her pointing and barking orders at the kids. She looks more like a warden than a mom. I'm about to shift to the next picture when something makes me do a double take and my stomach just about drops to the basement of the building. I grab the magnifying loupe, pulling the image of Penley right up to my face. I stare in amazement. Utter, freaking amazement.